future.
That's always the funny part, because especially if it's for a band that's got like less than 5 records out, the past is kind of, I mean, especially if like, I mean, I'm trying to get stuff from Sub Pop for you guys, but the future is always like the last 1 minute of the thing is, well, we're going on tour and it should be fun, and that's like the future part of the special.
We're gonna wrestle alligators or something.
We're rolling, okay. So to begin with, actually, can you talk about Aberdeen and what kind of town it's like, what kind of town it is?
Aberdeen's full of nice people, hard-working people, and it's kind of a dreary place, that's for sure. And I've always said it's always like Chicago, like Boise, Seattle, Olympia, Aberdeen, China. So it's kind of on the edge of the United States. And its isolation has to do with a lot of the attitude there. But I think things are changing now because, now we've got like 40 channels of cable, so a lot more ideas are coming in there.
Is it, are things good there now? I mean, I know it was kind of bad for
No, well, I haven't really been down there too much, so I can't really say. I guess they're all right. People get by down there. There's a big crisis, depression.
Is I mean, this might have happened even long before you were born, but has the logging industry kind of been on the downside lately?
Yeah, it's finished pretty much because all the federal timberlands and state lands pretty much all cut down. Private lands too, so they want to go for the lots of the old growth stuff. And it's kind of screwy, really. Just kind of like flogging a dead horse. That's old technology. They can have like all kinds of like hybrid fiber boards and stuff that it's way better than plywood, but a lot of politics involved there. So.
Do you think being in a town like that where there wasn't much going on, or you might have been bored I mean, I know I grew up in a small town and it drove me nuts, and just searching for something to do was kind of hard. Do you think
I had a lot of fun there, I cut you off though. What?
That's okay.
I had a lot of fun there, but a lot of times the fun is pretty destructive fun. Like alcohol. I always had one friend I hung around with, and we had one car, so we'd have to drive around together, cause trouble. And we'd go down to Portland or up to Seattle or Olympia or Tacoma, go out to the beach. You can drive on the beach in Washington State. It's awesome. You get going about 50 and just hit the emergency brakes. Or you just tear it up, kill all the clams and crabs and all that. And go through the surf, get the car all sandy and rusty. And
what kind of car?
Usually some dilapidated Impala or something like that. Yeah.
Sounds like by the time I said insert different names.
Yeah.
Do you think that, and it maybe in having to sort of invent your own fun and everything, since there weren't anything set up or anything, do you think that had anything to do with you picking up a guitar?
Oh yeah, totally. But there's also like a passion for music too. It's like I always loved music. I always had to listen to music, and I was always into any kind of music. And after a while, I got bored of like rock and roll because I was listening to like Ozzy and. Everybody's listening to Scorpions and Def Leppard and stuff, and after a while I was like, God, this stuff's just kind of boring. It's nothing really challenging. So I just kind of dropped out. I had a job at a Taco Bell, and I worked there, so I didn't go out or anything. And then I met Buzz Osborne from the Melvins, and he turned me on to punk rock, and that was like, love of music blossomed again. It was really good.
It was actually my next question. What kind of things did Buzz turn you on to?
Flipper and Black Flag and Butthole Surfers and DRI and any 3 initials really, like MDC, yeah. MDC, and that's where I started getting really political too. It's like listening to all those crazy Berkeley ranters going off. John Wayne was a Nazi, or we are Reagan war puppets, and MDC was just insane. They had they had the single out that showed like these like death squad victims. It was just horribly mutilated corpses. Just like, ugh. My dad saw that and got really mad. like, you think that's cool? I go, no, I don't think it's cool, but it's like beats some like Frazetta, or whatever the guy is, heroic Viking picture, you know, and that's what they're trying to say. So I kind of got indoctrinated into politics through punk rock.
Was Dead Kennedys in there too?
Oh, totally. Yeah, how could I skip them? They were the archetypal political punk rock band. California Uber Alice.
Let's see, where are we? Do you remember, can you sort of tell about you, Kurt had been trying to persuade you for a while to play with him and do stuff, right? But you took a while to warm up to the idea?
I don't know if he tried to persuade me. Maybe he did. We kind of had stuff going off and on, but it wasn't too serious. And then one day, he gave me a tape he made with Dale Crover from the Melvins. He went up to Tacoma to his aunt's house, and I thought it was really cool. And I went up to him, let's start a band. And so that's when we scrounged all this equipment together, because he had a guitar and this little amp that used to be my brother's, but somehow he got a hold of it, some kind of pot deal or something, I don't know. And I scrounged up a bass and an amp, and we found this guy, Aaron Burkhart. He was like the first pick for the Melvin's drummer, but he didn't make it because Dale got the job. So we got Aaron in the band, and he had this piece of crap drum set. It was amazing. He had this cymbal that was totally intact, but he'd hit it, and it sounded like a hitting that table there. It was like totally dead. It was amazing, because usually cymbals can get all cracked and messed up, and just go make some kind of noise. This thing was just like so, but it was something. It looked good there.
Was that the Fecal Matter tape?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, and Spank Through was on there. Yeah.
Do you remember the first time you played together? How long after you decided you wanted to do it did you?
Oh, really? It came together really fast. And Kurt had this house he rented, this total shack. There's like a cesspool underneath the house, like the whole foundation was rotten. There was no refrigerator. It was really bad. I got him a refrigerator though, out of my stepmom's grandmother's basement. This old, like, early 50s Kelvinator or something like that. But it was, things came together really fast. Within a week, we had a set. I think we had like a half-hour set. We had Floyd the Barber, Spank Through. I think we had Love Buzz. And, boy, there were some other songs that are like totally, really early. They were like on Bleach, too. Which ones were they, though? They were Hairspray Queen. Yeah, that kind of stuff. That was all really early stuff.
I know the answer to this, but since no one's ever going to hear me, if you could tell me about it. What kinds of places did you used to rehearse in? Was it your mom's? Oh
yeah, that was after a while though, because we had nowhere to go, because we all lived in these apartments, and at that time I lived in Tacoma and Kurt lived in Olympia, and my mom had this empty apartment above her. She owned the building where this beauty salon was in. And we spent a week down there before we went to record Bleach and just hashed it out up there all night long. And during the day, we'd go on hikes. We'd go to the beach and walk around. And we'd try to walk up to this water tower, but we got lost up the trail. And it's kind of wild. And we listened to Celtic Frost and the Smithereens. Had one tape. And one side of Celtic Frost had Smithereens. So it's
that's a hell of a combination.
Yeah, it was pretty wild.
Jesus. Was it pretty clear from the, I mean, you obviously had the same taste musically. Did that make it easier?
Oh, yeah, totally, yeah.
You were together on what you wanted to do?
Yeah, because we could praise the bands that we loved and we could bitch about the bands we hated all together.
I mean, as far as playing, did you have did you play off each other well right from the beginning?
Oh, yeah, it was really good, yeah. And Aaron was a good drummer. He was really fluid and easy to play with. And we started having like these total jam sessions right off the start. It was a lot of fun. And total, just like dynamic and crazy and really noisy and wild.
Was he the one? Did he go to jail or something, or was that?
No, yeah, he went to jail. Sure.
He couldn't be your drummer anymore because he got in trouble or something. Am I thinking of the right guy?
He got pulled over for drinking and driving. The guy, I used to call him the situationalist, because he used to get into situations that were so crazy. Like him and this girl are really drunk, and they're like in this little like Chevy left pickup. And they pull up in the supermarket by Kurt's old house, and they drive right through the electric doors and go, psh, and they're inside the supermarket. And then he ran and took off and left that girl there. And she got busted. She took the rap. She took the fall.
Whose car was it?
From the girls.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
That's free then.
Aaron Burkhart.
When did you feel like? I mean, I guess probably a lot of the first set that you were talking about that you got together were songs that Kurt had written without you, right?
Yeah.
So what was the first song that you felt like you contributed to and helped build up?
I don't know. I think Floyd the Barber was, and just like every song, I just kind of do my own thing, play the bass line, whatever complements the song.
So did you actually Did he play bass on those demos then, or was there no bass at all?
I don't think there was even any bass on it. I remember he plugged the guitar straight into the mixing board, just like just really wild sounding.
What do you think happened when Dave joined the band? Did any of those? I mean, you went through. If I had to guess on a number, probably 4 or 5 at least part, or what you might have thought were full-time drummers.
No, they were all like part-time drummers. There was only like 2 of them.
Did you ever feel like any of them were in the band for good before Dave joined?
Not really. No, not Dale Crover. He was in the Melvins. And Danny Peters, it was so like iffy because Mudhoney didn't know what they wanted to do. And then if he wanted to join our band, but if he joined our band, it'd be the end of Mudhoney, and we'd be kind of bummed out about that. And then we saw Dave down in San Francisco and thought, wow, what a great drummer. And then he was talking to Buzz from the Melvins and said, oh yeah, Nirvana needs a drummer. So he called up and said, yeah, come on up. And he did. And it was really cool. He's just really fluent and just really heavy and really energetic.
Was that the first time you really felt like this is it for good and this is Nirvana and this is what we're gonna... Did you have any ideas when you were with Chad that maybe this will be who we make 5 or 6 records with? Or?
No, I really didn't. You know, I knew there was some stuff with Chad. Some of it was like personal and some of it was like musical, you know, and so after a while it kind of came down to it, like, yeah, I think we can kind of do a little better than Chad, you know. Though Chad was in the band for like 2.5 years. Yeah. And it was just, I don't know, it just felt like that's what had to be done. Like, it was just so natural and logical. Like Chad, when he joined the band, he was like kind of a light, kind of a jazzy drummer, and then he kind of changed his style to be really heavy, and I think that kind of strained on him. That just wasn't naturally what he wanted to do, and I don't think he made that transition too well. And you know, Kurt's playing this really loud, raunchy guitar, and I'm playing this really heavy bass, and then Dave's a lot bigger guy, you know.
Well, I think he naturally just because...
I have a tape change right now.
Okay. Are they pretty new, or...?
No, they broke up already.
Well, I mean, I haven't lived there for...
I got this shirt for free. I think I've heard their songs a few times, but never really got into them.
I haven't been there for like 8 or 9 years.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm there now. People are like, hey, show us around. I'm like...
Shit, where do you live now?
I live in New York now.
New York.
But yeah, if you've ever been under 21 there, that's like the toughest state in the country.
Washington holds its own.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, it's if you lose your license and you go in to get a new one, they give you one that has duplicate on it, and liquor stores won't take that. So you can be 25 and just maybe not look 30. So you still get ID.
Fascisti.
So I never got to go to the all ages shows. Yeah, speak. You know, I should keep this out because you're not smoking and it would look stupid. And David all kind of blended in, so it didn't matter. What you were saying about Dave, though, I mean, I think aside from him, I mean, actually, I've never seen a full picture of Chad. Didn't know how big he was, but aside from him being bigger, I mean, I think probably just the drummers and the bands that he listened to probably made him think, you know, this is the way to drum anyway. I know he was a big Zeppelin fan.
Yeah.
That he probably had those tendencies. Anyway, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's just a really hard hitter. Yeah. And people are pretty awestruck by him, so.
Well, he's a hard hitter, but he's also, I mean, he also can be subtle when he needs to be subtle.
Yeah.
I'm glad he's not here, so I can.
Yeah, he's got some good, comes up with some good stuff, that's for sure.
Even his really hard hits, though, are so clean that it's amazing. I mean, and I've probably heard Nevermind a couple hundred times now, but was listening to it the other day, and just even some of the really hardest blasts he'll have in the whole record. They're so, it's like he hit it once and you just multiplied it, you know, on the record electronically or something, because it's so clean where everything sounds.
That's just the way it is. I mean, just technique, I guess.
Yeah. Was it really hard to fire Chad?
Yeah, it was a bummer. Kurt and I were always really bad at stuff like that. All the other drummers just kind of flaked out, kind of lost them. But for Chad, he was in the band for so long, we thought we owed it to him. So we drove out there, Kurt's junky car. I drove, laid it on him, and then took off. I was like, fuck.
Was he surprised, or? I mean, just the stuff that I've read that he said in reaction to leaving the band, he didn't. He seemed like
I think he felt kind of relieved, you know, because I don't know if it was really what he wanted to do, you know. Kind of in his vein, he had some different ideas, and it wasn't really a bar alley, so.
So did you really feel like a band for the first time then when Dave joined? Or?
No, I've always felt like I was in a band, you know, whatever the drummer was, you know.
I mean, like an all-inclusive unit, like you're going, you could see being in this band with these two other guys for a long time and make 5 or 6 records. Or...
I've never thought in those terms anyway. Nah, I've never been like, had a plan or anything. You know, I just kind of did it, had as much fun as possible while doing it, and never had any goals or anything. Just kind of make good music. I was all serious about the music, and that probably held us back for a long time too, like being on Sub Pop and stuff, because we didn't have a manager or anything, so there was like really no vision in the band. It was just doing the music and just kind of going on tour, and it was just, you know, just like coming from Aberdeen, it was like, you know, just to go drive around the country, like go to New York, that was an achievement right there. It was such a big goal that I, you know, couldn't see much far past that, but you do that for a couple times, and oh, well, what's like going to Europe, and then, you know, then, wow, Sonic Youth and Dinosaur, they all signed to major labels, you know, why don't we? So that was something else to look forward to. Like, there was something bigger to look forward to, like playing in Olympia when we lived in Aberdeen. That was something to look forward to. There's always something around the corner to look forward to, so.
So there was always something there. You didn't have to think a couple of years ahead.
Yeah, yeah.
Speaking of that, this is actually something I've just kind of thought of too, but was it, when you left, when you went to go to Geffen, or DGC, that has something to do with Sub Pop was thinking about signing some distribution deal that you guys weren't psyched about being part
Yeah,
of?
they were going to do some kind of big deal, and it just seemed like there was a lot of messy red tape in there, and a lot of labels wanted us too, you know. That's one of the reasons why they wanted to sign Sub Pop, because our buzz was starting to get going, so we just kind of played junior capitalist and cut out the middleman.
So that had begun then, even when you were on Sub Pop, you were getting contacted by other labels and stuff?
Yeah, yeah.
Just from Bleach and the tours and stuff?
Yeah, we heard stories about them calling Sub Pop, like Crystal was called a long time ago, and they just told them, like, drop dead, and like hung up the phone, you know, and we never caught wind of it, you know, so.
I've heard stories about, and something I just actually found out recently that I never knew about, that you guys had actually started to make the second record for Sub Pop, and then
we did, yeah.
interrupted by a tour or something? Or?
Well, we recorded about 8 songs with Butch Vig in Madison, Wisconsin, and then we went out on tour after the recording. We spent like 3 weeks or something like that recording it, and we recorded Lithium and Stay Away, which was like Pay to Play, and Dive and Polly, which actually made it to the record, and a few more, like In Bloom, like those songs. That tape went on to be our demo, but then we went on the tour of the United States after that, and then we came home and lost Chad, and it was just like, I don't know, and it wasn't even a complete record. Maybe it was 6 or 7, maybe 8 songs, you know. And it just wasn't the right time to put a record out, that's for sure.
So, Chad, It's because I had heard stories that when you were moving on and going to be on DGC and kind of moving to a new level or something, that's when you decided, well, maybe we should think seriously about what kind of drummer we want. And that wasn't the case then, or?
Yeah, that was definitely in the cards. That's for sure.
So the Sub Pop distribution deal and all that happened before.
Yeah, that was all happening. Yeah, that was all like brewing on the horizon. There was like all kinds of bigger stuff going on, and we're just like, God, it was just, it's out a major label. We had no idea what was going on, you know. And then we were given some 50-page contract by Sub Pop, like all this like legal mumbo jumbo. It's like, what the heck is this, you know? And then we went and saw Susan Silver, Soundgarden's manager, and she said, "Oh, you guys should come down to Los Angeles with me. I'm leaving the day after tomorrow. I'll be down there the day after tomorrow." So we're like, "Oh, okay." Well, she's flying, and we've got to drive. So we left like the next day, and we drove straight down there. And then when her business was done, she kind of took us around to meet a few people. We met an attorney and met a few people at a few different labels. Just got the feel for it. Met Sub Pop's attorney, and it was just a real different world. Had no idea how it worked or anything. So.
Yeah, that must have been weird, actually, knowing you were, when you went back in to record with Dave and everything, knowing you were making the record to come out on Geffen, and it must have been before where you just kind of went in and did it by yourself and submitted it, and then
yeah, it was like a totally different thing. But we've been around a little bit by then, where we were comfortable with it, and there are other bands making strides in that field, and where it was a good time to do it.
Yeah, I guess having seen Sonic Youth and Dinosaur do it, you might have been a little more comfortable with it.
Oh, sure, yeah. They like jumped in first and just kind of looked like, are they floating? What's going on? You know?
It could be your guinea pigs.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. What was that tour like with Sonic Youth? Here's where the repeating of the questions start, I guess, a little bit, but the tour with Sonic Youth that you did at the European festivals.
Oh, it was insane. It was one big drunken blur is what it was. We just went psycho. I don't know why we went so crazy. We were the opening band, so we only had to play for 40 minutes a night, I guess. God, it was just a nutty tour.
I think you might have just been reacting to all that was going on in the sense that everything was changing. Or just that you were there with your friends?
I think because Kurt was drinking a lot. So he got into the equation, because I think I used to just be the sole drunkard and cause all the problems. Then Kurt and Dave joined in, so it was like me times 2 or whatever, times 3. So it was like total insanity.
Did they kind of, I mean, it seems like they kind of, just because they liked you guys so much and you were also friends and everything, that they kind of took you under their wing. And kind of
well, they're really nice people. I mean, they took us on a tour before that, with Dale Crover on drums, and we did the West Coast with them. And remember, I was also a big fan. I was like really nervous to meet him and stuff, and I got to know him. It's like really nice people, and it's just like we're doing the same thing now. Like we go on tour, and you know, we just want to play with bands that we like and that are cool people, and just have fun. That's the main thing. So we can hang out, like just hang out in everybody's dressing rooms and stuff, and have a good time, and watch these opening bands, and have, you know, get to know everybody. It's just a really good thing. It's one of the best things of being in a band.
I was just going to say, that must be, I mean, for them, and now for you guys as well with your success, that must be one of the coolest things of the success that you've had, that you can handpick the bands.
Yeah. It's really neat.
And not only are they your friends, but you also, while you're working, you get
we make friends, you know? Yeah. They get to be our friends. Yeah. It's really neat.
When did you first hear Shona Knife, speaking of that?
Wow, Chad turned us on to Shona Knife. Yeah. Back like in '89 or something, or '88. I mean, they've been around for a long time. They were on K. Yeah. They had a tape like Birding Farm or something on K. Chad was into it, and I remember on that first tour of the U.S., like driving between Phoenix, Arizona, and Flagstaff, and like everybody's asleep, and I'm listening to it, and it's like, God, this is amazing. And I played it twice in a row. It was really good.
I didn't know they were on K. I thought before. These ones that have come out in the last couple of years, I thought they were all imports.
No, they were on K.
Wow. something else that I went over with Dave before, but looking back on, I mean, again, there's no way you guys could have predicted what happened with Nevermind, but being on that European tour, I guess, I think it was when I interviewed you guys at Reading, it was like 2 weeks before Nevermind came out.
You did that?
Yeah, it was me.
Shit.
Fell back in the chair.
Yeah.
Does that, I mean, like I said, there's no way you could have told at the time, but in retrospect, does that kind of seem like a calm before the storm when you look back on it? Like, wow, if we knew then what was going to...
I just don't think in those terms, you know, just like look back and try to put things back in some perspectives. Like I really don't care. You know, I had a good time back then, and Jeepers Creepers, whatever happened just kind of blew up. I remember having a good time that period, you know. So.
Do you remember when you made Nevermind? I know maybe this is... I know you guys you guys have certainly got a lot of pop sensibilities when it comes to songwriting. And was there any sense that when you made Bleach that you wanted to make a sub-pop record, or they wanted you to make a sub-pop record?
No. We're just going to go in there and make a record. That's what it was. And we were just making records like everybody else was. We were making Jack and Dino produced records recorded at Reciprocal Studios on an 8-track like everybody else was. So that's how it was with like budgets and you know, you only had to drive up from Olympia or Tacoma to make the record.
So there wasn't any sense when you made Nevermind then that, well, we can just make the record we want to make, we don't have to feel like...
No, I call Nevermind the rite of passage record, where you get signed to a major label, you get an advance, and then you get a producer, and then you go to Los Angeles and you record in the studios. That's like $1,200 a day, and you come out with a big record, big sounding record. I think every band does that too, like their first major label record.
Do you feel comfortable with the way that record came out then? Or?
Sure, yeah, I like that record a lot. Sounds great.
So it wasn't necessarily a bad thing for you guys then going in with the different...
No, not at all. Yeah. That's just where we were at that one time, you know what I mean? And we got into making that record. It was great working with Butch. He's really patient, really thorough, and knows how to get you to do the job right, you know?
I thought I'd heard or read somewhere once that not so much when you were recording or when you were working with Butch, but some of the things that Andy Wallace came in and did at the end of the curve.
I'm going to make a quick battery change if I can.
Okay. Thank you.
Someone want to pour me a guys?
Okay, we're going to start rolling here again so everybody knows.
Okay. Where am I here? Speed? Yeah. Do you remember where you were when, okay, what place Dave was, but where you were when you were thinking when Smells Like Teen Spirit was shooting up the charts and you were knocking Michael Jackson off?
Oh, I think I was in some backstage in Germany or something like that. Wow, really? That's weird. I'm really burned out. When's this tour over? Because tour was just the biggest burnout, man. We had the worst vehicles. This is how we slept during the day, because I'd be up all night. And during the day, I'm just like sitting up straight like this, like, it's like, so I was under such duress that I couldn't really fathom it, you know. It was really weird.
That tour was worse than some of the ones that you did on Bleach then? Like going
yeah, because there was, well, that was pretty harsh too, yeah. But there seemed like there was a lot more people in this around. Like we used to do our own tours, like just us three, you know. We had this van with a U-Haul trailer, and then, I'm tired of driving. Someone else drives, and you just kind of crash, stretch out and back, roomy, and here you're all squished up and bad. Yeah. Well, see, the Tad tour wasn't as long as this tour was. Like we had one day off between the United States and Europe.
Well, the actual shows must have been easier, didn't you? Have a lot of equipment problems and money problems and everything when you were in Sub Pop.
Yeah, that stuff we used to patch it up pretty good. Kirk got pretty good at fixing that stuff. We'd buy him guitars for like $50, $60. He'd turn them around, he'd turn the nut around, because it was always a pain in the ass because he's left-handed. Yeah. So he'd always have to and he'd be playing and just hit all these knobs and stuff because the guitar's upside down. But he got pretty good at it, fixing it and stuff. And one night we just went crazy and trashed everything, threw half the stuff in a dumpster. And I think we sold one amp head to a kid for $5. Could I have that? Yeah, for $5. And we sold it to him. And it's just like smash. And then we got on the phone to John and Bruce from Sub Pop. We smashed all our gear and we need money. And they came, they sent the money too. It was great. That was a good day the next day because we actually had like $1,400 or something. It was really good.
You spend it all on equipment or
yeah.
did you eat with some of it? From
we had a little left over. Like Chad bought some drum set and Kurt bought an amp and stuff. Oh, I bought a guitar case. Yeah, I had a case. I got a brand new case. It was awesome.
So the whole Smells Like Teen Spirit phenomenon, did it all sort of, did you hear about, well, we're up to this number, or we're selling this much, or did it kind of all of a sudden hit you at once?
Oh, we would do that in the U.S. tour. Like, hey, you guys just got added on KBUS or whatever, Cable, AOR. Wow. Well, that's cool. All right. And stuff like that. Like, yeah, you guys are doing pretty good. You guys are getting played on these stations where they don't regularly play you because people are calling. The whole thing was such a phenomenon, like they'd play a song and then people would call up and request, so they couldn't deny it, so they'd play it. And then the Teen Spirit video was so late, and so it was really rocking on radio before the video ever even came out. It was really wild. I mean, the song was this powerful song, And I remember when we put that song together, it's like we'd look at each other and goes, God, this is kind of a Pixies ripoff, isn't it? Like we thought there's bigger hits on that record.
Like what?
Like Lithium and In Bloom and so we recorded Teen Spirit, and I remember Kurt put the vocals down, and then the next day I walked in the studio and Butch is like, oh, you guys got to listen to this. And he had like a rough mix of it, and he just cranked it. Listened to it, like, wow, this really rocks. It was a really rocking song, really powerful, and it just really turned things upside down.
And I just remember people coming up to me all the time and going, have you met anyone who doesn't like this song? I don't think so.
All the criticisms, like it's like Godzilla or More Than a Feeling.
God, More Than a Feeling?
Yeah, More Than a Feeling. We actually did that. We had a show once. We played More Than a Feeling, More Than a Feeling. It's More Than a Feeling.
Here's the two-part question again. What did you think of Tori Amos?
Oh, that was pretty nice. I don't know. I didn't get it, It was, she kind of, her style's kind of nice and stuff, but for that song, that's like such a heavy song. I don't know, it'd be funny to hear her do her renditions of like Paranoid by Black Sabbath and When the Levee Breaks by Led Zeppelin and maybe My War by Black Flag, and
Holiday in Cambodia or something.
Holiday in Cambodia.
What's funny? I mean, after that...
She's busting some guy over the head with a chair.
I get all this pre-promotional stuff in work, and there's actually a little EP of Smells Like Teen Spirit. Oh, God, I think it's not the Lemon song. So, of course, now I'm drawing a complete blank on it. But it's you guys, it's a Zeppelin song, it's a Hendrix song, and something else. And it's this 4-song EP with all these covers that she's done. And Angie by the Stones.
Oh, Angie, yeah.
Which works, actually.
That'd be a good one.
And I thought, Smells Like Teen Spirit was kind of, was interesting, except it sounds so ridiculous with the Abalado and Albino part. Because it's so,
yeah, it was kind of weird. Yeah. I guess she's kind of provocative and stuff, but I haven't really given her a chance and listened to her to really say anything that would be really fair, I just kind of skimmed. I've got that one little single with Teen Spirit, and I heard that, and I think I heard, I don't know, I just haven't really gotten into her, so I wouldn't really know.
What about Weird Al?
Oh, he's a joker. They asked us if they can do it, and we said, yeah, to tell you the truth. Yeah, Weird Al wants to do a parody. I think they paid us some money and stuff. And then we kind of freaked out when we heard that there was going to be all the. We thought that he was really taking a piss out of us, but it wasn't really, because some friends of ours were at when he made the video in the same sound stage, using the same, so many similarities. But they're going to have all these cows and pigs going around. We thought, oh, he's going to tear us apart. We were all like, oh, we were going like, oh man, that Weird Al's going to get us. And then we saw the video, and I was just like laughing. It was really funny. It was really good. So I guess those fears were unfounded. Thank God.
Do you go along with the imitation as the sincerest form of flattery thing?
Sure. What the heck, you know? I always do parodies and stuff. Make my own lyrics to songs.
I mean, if you look at, was there any sense of? I mean, I know you were already #1 by then and probably platinum by then and all that, but that's sort of an unofficial. You know, when you look at who else he parodies.
I know, and like I saw, did you see that issue of Mad Magazine a couple months ago? Mad Unplugged, and like we were in it. Picture of us. I'm like, that's it. I'm finished now. I've made it. That's when it really hit me. Like, God, I'm in Mad Magazine. There I am, Mad Magazine. Awesome.
That's awesome.
That's it.
Yeah. What do you think about the whole? Just everyone. Like I said to Dave, it's not just the media. It's music fans all over the world saying, you know, you're the biggest, most important band of the '90s and the voice of the Generation X and
the 20-nothings. Well, everybody's in such a rush to define everything, you know, like everybody's trying to define the 60s, you know, that's when the big baby boomers came of age and stuff, and it's just like, just kind of chill out. That's what I say, really, you know, like voice of a generation. I mean, look, you know, Bob Dylan, he was given that, but he passed it off, because who's gonna take that on, you know, and pull it off without being some total megalomaniac demagogue or something. I mean, that maybe that mechanism's only there to exploit. You know what I mean? Because if you have any kind of like, what kind of values? I hate to use the word utopian because it's so wishy-washy, but like, just if you're really into like individual responsibility and to give so much power to somebody or something, or I mean, I just look at things so much as in the individual as in the group, because once you get in this total group thing, you got to have all these rules, laws, and leaders, and it's just something that's been going on for like thousands of years, and it doesn't work, you know. So
I don't think at least anyone was looking to, you know, hand you the sword Excalibur or anything and expect you to lead the troops, but I think it was more like of hope that, wow, here these guys are, they made a great record, and for whatever reason,
we're defined.
The corrupt music business played it.
Okay, that's a different thing, you know. Sure. And it's, you know, it's still corrupt. It's all just relationships and politics between like the press and the label and the bands and the, you know, whatever kind of weird politics is going on, which I have a real disdain for. It's really bad, really sick. The way it perpetuates itself and stuff, you know.
Do you think it's more of a case of just you guys making a really good record and it was kind of ripe for the picking for you to the good straw that broke the camel's back, I guess?
Yeah, I think it was all based on music. I think it was a really good record. People have a natural inclination for like harmony and like the hooks, and the hooks were there, and it was kind of fresh because rock and roll at that point was pretty stale with all like the hair glam bands and stuff, and here came something, and we were kind of wise guys. We didn't really toe the line, and that was kind of new. So,
do you think all that the success that came with Nevermind and everything affected how you made the new record, or do you think you would have made it the same way even if it only sold what you expected it to?
We went through so much. It's hard to say how that turned out. I'm sure that affected the way we made that record. Yeah, I'm sure it did. Because, I don't know, how could I say it?
I mean, I know it wasn't to the extent that all the rumors that were
It was
going
just,
made it, but
yeah, we just just wanted to make a stripped down, like straight ahead record, and.
what we were talking about before we changed tape actually was I've heard Kurt say before that he was a little bit embarrassed about the kind of the mixing that Andy Wallace came in and did on Nevermind.
It's nah. Well, if he is, that's fine. I'm not. You know what I mean?
He could have been misquoted. I don't know.
Yeah, I've talked to Kurt, and Kurt said that he's really liked it, and I've talked to Kurt and said he doesn't like it. Kind of goes back and forth on it, So.
I think all the rumors that were going around was that you were going to come up with this really in-your-face, noisy punk record just to kind of slap success in the face or something.
Yeah, there was just so many stories out there. Like Newsweek, totally jumped on it. They just needed a story. Well, that's a whole American or world media is just based on the story. You got to have the story. And here's the story that our record was unlistenable and unreleasable and it was whatever. And it wasn't that way at all. It seemed like a lot of the songs were kind of more rock, and there were a lot more kind of abrasive songs on there, so we thought we'd have kind of more edgy sounds. I look back, I wish we could have made that record more slick, though, in utero. But you can't change the past, so.
What was it like working with Steve Albini?
It was really good. He's a good guy to work with. I mean, he's driven by his personal ethics and his work ethic. If a band, if you don't record the song in 3 or 4 takes, don't even record it because you shouldn't even do it. You know what I mean? And maybe a band should sound in the studio how it does live. And I liked working with him.
Do you?
I got a tape change.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, the last thing was a battery.
Oh, that's right. Okay.